Hi, welcome to Tracy's Local Learnings. Today I would like to talk to you guys about the dandelion. Um, okay, here we go. Taraxacum officinalis is the botanical name of the dandelion. It is a superfood and a medicinal. To identify it, I have my white paper. To identify it, you identify it by the leaves. The leaves have a tooth-like pattern to them. I believe know what the dandelion is, but there's a variety of little bits of differentness to some of the leaves. Some of them will be rounder, some of the teeth will be a little bit different, but overall it's a smooth, has a shiny surface to it. There's no hairs or anything on it. It's very bendy and pliable. So that's the leaf. The flower that grows on a dandelion is always going to be a stalk, a single stalk with a single flower on the end. That's one of the identifying features of the dandelion. Also, the dandelion, I don't know if you guys can see that, the dandelion stalk is completely hollow. And when you pluck, the other identifying feature, when you pluck the flower, you will get this white milky substance that comes out of it. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like a white latex looking stuff. Okay, where am I? Here we go. All parts of the plant are edible: the flower, the leaf, and the root. And identifying for the root will always be white. See how that milky stuff's coming out the end, that latex? That's how another identifying feature of the dandelion. And like I said, the root is completely white on the inside. Okay, so that's that. So when you're harvesting the dandelion, you want to make sure that you're harvesting it in a good area, like a pristine, clean area where there's not any roads nearby where cars are driving on or dogs are peeing or whatnot. I mean, you can only be so careful, but I don't recommend going to like parks where there could be dogs or nearby roads. So, you know, abandoned houses are a great one where the grass is like 6 feet tall and the weeds, you can tell there's not been sprayed for weeds because they're growing prolifically. That's a good place to harvest from, or in the middle of a field or whatever. Okay, now when I harvest my dandelion, I do not wash them. Um, I pick the ones that haven't been chewed or eaten. There's no brown leaves on them. I pick the nice, clean, pristine flowers, leaves, and roots. The roots, of course, are coming out of the ground, but I do not wash them. I wash the roots very quickly. I just hose off the big chunks of dirt, and that's it. I'm not afraid of the dirt. I do grow my dandelions in my garden, the ones that I harvest every year. So I'm not afraid of the dirt in the ground. It's all good. I'm good with that. And you don't want to wash them because they have water soluble properties to them, which means you're going to wash away the benefits of the plant if they're in water too long. Okay, some, not all, but some of the many vitamins and minerals in the dandelion. They have vitamin A, B complex, vitamin C, E, K, folate, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, manganese, choline, imulin, and iron. Now, iron is important because iron carries the oxygens throughout our system to our cells. So it's very important. So the dandelion is a good all-around plant for health and vitality. Um, it is an anti-inflammatory. It detoxes our bodies of heavy metals and radiation, which in this day and age is huge. So like a cup of tea every day isn't going to hurt you. Um, it prevents gallstones, reduces inflammation throughout the entire system. It fights and prevents cancer, and it's good for eye health. Okay, where am I here? Okay, so it's also a potent antioxidant. It has things in it such as beta carotene. Now that what they do is they neutralize the harmful effects from free radical damage. I'm sure you guys have all heard about free radical damage. Well, the dandelion, the medicinal parts of the plant, help neutralize the effects and eliminate them through our urine. The flower, the benefits of the flower are basically mostly used for the skin, because it basically plumps up the cells in our whole entire system, which is how you can tell it's good for the skin. The leaves purify the blood, especially through the kidneys. They're a diuretic, which means they get rid of excess fluid in the system by flushing it out, and they flush out the toxins. It's a bitter, so it stimulates the production of bile in our digestive system, which helps our digestive system. Um, an interesting thing about the leaves, talking about a cup of tea, if you know of a nursing mother that's having problems getting the milk to lactate up and producing milk, dandelion leaf tea will help in the production of mother's milk. So that's a very interesting thing. Okay, so the root. Let's go to the root now. The root has a lot. It is the highest benefit to the liver, is anything from the root. It's an analgesic, sorry, which helps with pain. It's rich in carbs like inulin, so um, it's a soluble fiber, so it's easy for us to digest soluble fibers. It detox and supports liver function. It's good for the urinary tract. It's good for gallbladder and skin disorders. Um, the root, the enzymes and electrolytes clean and strengthen the valves and muscles in our heart. That is amazing. So if you know anybody that has like concerns about heart, maybe it's in the bloodlines or whatever, again, a good old cup of dandelion root tea, it'll hook you up. Again, so that it strengthens and cleans the valves and the muscles in the heart. So it's an anti-inflammatory, it's a mild sedative, it's antibacterial. Now the sap that comes out of this can be used directly on the skin for things like bug bites or bee stings, wounds, or even eczema. It's great for the skin. The leaves can be chewed on. Now, listen to this. This is amazing to me. This is every time I look for information on dandelion, whether it be in my books or online, I'll find something new. It's because there's so much. So if you chew on the leaves, it helps restore the enamel in your teeth. Who would have thought? Okay, so where am I at? Okay, so let's talk about how we can use the plant. You can make a tincture, which is with alcohol. So when I make my tinctures, I will use either 80 proof or 100 proof vodka. I will not go higher over that. There are people that make tinctures out of the high grain alcohol, but it's dangerous. You can't use it the way when it's done. You have to do a bunch of math and figure out how to make it safe for ingestion. So I don't even bother with that. The great thing about 100 proof vodka or even 80 proof is you're going to draw out of the plant 50% of the water soluble properties and 50% of the alcohol soluble properties. So you're getting a nice full base tincture. A nice, you know what I mean? You're getting all of the bits of the plant. So when you make a tincture, you take your I use what's called a full plant tincture. I take some of the roots, I take some of the leaves and some of the flowers, and I chop them up. I don't like destroy them, but I chop them up so that there's more surface area for the alcohol to extract the properties out of it. You fill a jar. You want to make sure that the jar is airtight, that you have a way of making it airtight. So you fill the jar to the tippy top with your plant matter, and then you pour your alcohol over top of it. It's really that easy. Pardon me. You have to make sure that the alcohol is covering all the plant matter. Oh, and with a tincture, you always want to use fresh plant matter. You don't want to use dry plant matter. That's another video. So you want to make sure that the alcohol is completely covering the plant matter, and then you want to put a lid on it. Now, if you're using a mason jar, alcohol will corrode the metal on the lid. So you can put a barrier between it, like saran wrap or parchment paper or whatever. So with a tincture, once you get the alcohol on it, you put it in a sealed jar. You want to put it into a dark, cool place. Sunlight will break it down. You don't want to do that. And the reason that you want your alcohol full to the top is if there's any oxygen in there, it'll 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 take out. I can't remember what it's called. Oxidization will happen, and it will turn your plant matter brown. I mean, it doesn't really change anything, but it just doesn't look how it should. So you just want to keep it full to the tippy top, no oxygen in there. Okay, so once that's done, you leave your tincture, your alcohol with your plant for 6 to 8 weeks in a cool, dark location. You can shake it every now and again if you want to or whatever. When that time is up, your 8 weeks is up, you strain off your tincture and squeeze out all the medicinal properties out of the plants because they hold a lot of the alcohol. So take your time. Don't just dump it and forget it because the really good stuff is waiting to drip out. So yeah, 6 to 8 weeks, cool, dark place, then strain it. And you want to put your tincture into a dark bottle, like a dark glass bottle, or make sure it's in a place where there's no light. Again, you don't want it to oxidize, right? And that's it. That's it for the tincture. Now, how do you take a tincture? Tinctures are safe for children. This dandelion tincture is safe for children. But you would start with like 3 drops, you know, and work your way up on the size and the age of the child. For an adult, you can take anywhere from like a half to 1 teaspoon in like a half a glass of water. And you can take that 3 times a day to really give your body a good flush out. Dandelion is something you can use every day, whether it's in teas or salads or cooking it like a spinach or whatever. It's safe. There's no contraindications of overuse of the dandelion. But with a lot of medicinals, you don't want to take it just constantly. It's like a vitamin, right? You take a vitamin too much, eventually you're just wasting your money at the store, right? So I like to go with most of my medicinals, my tinctures and whatnot, or even my teas. I'll drink it for 3 days and then I'll switch to something else, right? To get different properties into your body and stuff like that. You can make a non-alcohol tincture by using apple cider vinegar with the mother. And then you would do the same process. You would fill your jar with the plant matter. You would pour the apple cider vinegar over top, right to the tippy top, seal it in an airtight container, and then put it into a cool, dark space for 6 to 8 weeks. Same thing. The difference with the apple cider vinegar tincture is it's not going to be shelf stable for as long as an alcohol one. I mean, let's face it, alcohol doesn't go bad, so it's good to go. Some people say tinctures are only good for so many years. I don't know. The properties are in there. They're not going anywhere. If it's not evaporating and there's no sunlight, it should be fine for as long as you have it. Now, what was I going to say? Oh, okay. So the flowers you can also use quite easily by soaking them or infusing them in like an extra virgin olive oil or an avocado oil. Again, same thing. You would fill your jar up to the top with your fresh plant matter. With the oils, though, water and oil do not mix. So the difference is I would take my dandelions and I'd put them on a cookie sheet and I would just leave them like, say if I picked them in the morning, I would leave it till the next morning and then I would put them into the oil just to get any of the excess water out of it. Okay, just to, you know, why not? So then you put these into your jar, you fill it to the tippy top with your plants, then you fill it up and make sure that all of your plants are covered with your oil. You seal that jar up, cool, dark place, 6 to 8 weeks. Again, you can shake it if you want to. After the end of 6 to 8 weeks, you strain it off. Make sure you squeeze out those flower heads because they'll have a lot of good stuff in that oil. And then all you do with your oil, once you have it infused with the dandelion, is you add your beeswax to it. You melt it down to get it to the consistency you want, pour it into little containers, and let it cool. I do not use or recommend anyone using essential oils in anything they put on their skin. They're very dangerous. But again, that's for another video. Ingesting them too. They're dangerous. It's not necessary other than they smell pretty. So that's the salve. Okay, so one of the things that people use the dandelion salve for is for joint pain, like rheumatoid arthritis or arthritis or things like that. It really, really helps with them. And of course, our skin. It's good for our skin. Okay, so, and then when you're making it, when you're drying your plants, like I dry them, a lot of the times if you dry dandelions, they'll just turn into the seeds. It depends how fresh they are. If you get them right fresh in the morning when they're just opening, you can sometimes get them to dry fully yellow like this. Your leaves, again, they're easy to dry. You can put them on a cookie sheet and just leave them in a dark space in your, like a bedroom you don't use, with the door closed, the windows, curtains closed, because you don't want light hitting them. Like I said, light, it basically degrades things, right, that it hits, so you don't want them drying in the light. um, and the roots, the same thing. Or you can throw them on a dehydrator at the lowest setting. When you're dealing with any fresh herbs and medicinals like this, you don't want to use any high heat. You want to go to the lowest. Usually it's like 100 on a dehydrator, and just let it go low and slow. And you'll know when they're ready because they're crispy. They'll just literally crisp in your hand, and they're good to go. And then you can just put them into a jar and use them to make teas, right? You can add it to lemonade. You could, infuse it into water and then strain it and then add it to things. Because a lot of people, the crazy hippies eating the dandelions again. Anyways, the medicinals are hugely important to us. So that's my little rant into the dandelion. I really want you guys to get your kids involved. It's a great first plant to introduce to children when it comes to medicinals and learning about our land, and the fact that it's food and it's free, and the times that we're coming into right now. It's worth our while to teach our kids really how to step away from the stores and the pharmaceuticals and whatnot, and learn how to take care of ourselves like our ancestors did. Make them proud. They're up there watching us saying, holy, they don't even know about the dandelion. Anyways, so that is my rant on the dandelion. I'm so grateful for all my subscribers, and all the thumbs up and comments. If you guys enjoy my content, please hit the thumbs up button. It really does help my channel grow. I love reading your comments. Share the information to your friends and family if you think it's a benefit to them. And as always, thank you so much for coming by my channel. Have a good day. Bye-bye.